Sex assaults reported in as many days at Johns Hopkins University. The news really broke this weekend about assaults that happened a month apart on both of the campuses.
Yeah, the alleged crime brings into focus a bill working its way through Annapolis, granting universities to have its own police force. ABC 2 News' Brian Kubler joins us now with more. Brian.
Kelly, the bill is aimed at letting Johns Hopkins create its own legitimate police force, but even the bill's sponsor says there are still too many details to figure out. On campus, 2 allegations of sexual assault. Both were reported recently, but Johns Hopkins University says one incident happened at this fraternity house off campus earlier this month, and the other in a residence hall in early February. The university says it has identified both the victims and the accused in these cases and are investigating according to university policy. In a statement this weekend, a spokesperson said, quote, "We respond rapidly to reports of sexual assault. We work to investigate and resolve complaints promptly, fairly, equitably, impartially, and in compliance with the law." But now, the university would like to go even further in cases like these and others. The power to charge and arrest if needed.
You're talking about creating a new police force. A new one.
Delegate Cheryl Glenn of Baltimore is sponsoring a bill in Annapolis that would let Johns Hopkins and other independent institutions of higher education create its own police force. It was introduced late in the session, just last week, in fact. She says while she is the sponsor, she has reservations along with the students who protested this idea as well. There are details of accountability to hammer out, she says, how a new police force would fit into the current consent decree in Baltimore, and, of course, the consideration of public input.
I understand their need for additional security. They recruit students from all around the world, and I know that they want a safer environment on their campus.
You're not saying no, you're saying you introduced the bill, but let's take at least till next year to figure out some things.
Absolutely.
Including studying how it works in other large urban campuses who already have their own police forces. This bill is scheduled for a hearing later this week, but Glenn says it's more likely it will need another session or two before odds increase that it could pass. Now, this bill is scheduled for hearings on Thursday and Friday of this week. The university had no comment on the pending legislation.